Good evening, everybody. This is Semper.Reefing. Hope you had a good weekend. I just wanted to post an update on the 50 Lagoon. A few weeks ago, I made a post and I had a bad cyano outbreak. And right after making that, after posting that video, I did a chemi clean treatment and it did take care of the cyano. However, my nitrates bottomed out at 0 and I had a dino outbreak. This isn't my first time dealing with them. This is probably my 4th or 5th time. Not really too discouraged. I've dealt with this strain every time I've had them, and I believe they're the amphidiniums. I did take a look under the microscope last night. But you know, it's not really too bad. It's not as bad as it was 3 weeks ago. So first thing I did when I noticed my nitrates bottomed out, obviously, was to dose some nitrates. And over a week, I brought them up to 18 parts per million. And I've been keeping them up since then. I also, every once in a while, dose a very small amount of this water glass from Loud Wolf. If I can get that to focus. Sorry. And this is essentially just dosing silicates to the tank, which is to induce a diatom bloom. And that's just my approach to handling dinos is biodiversity. The last time I used the water glass, I took a sample of the sand bed and just had tons of diatoms. And you could see how they were kind of smothering the dinos. So that's my second approach. The third thing I did was I had this empty chamber and I had this big bag of media that's been seeding in my 210. And I just added that in here for more biodiversity. And right now it really doesn't look as bad as it did a couple weeks ago, because it really was all pretty matted and all snotty looking. Last week I started really blasting the sand bed with this turkey baster, as well as blowing off the rocks. The rocks really haven't gotten covered at all. It's just a sand bed, but I've been doing this every night and it's starting to really kind of kick them back a little bit more, I think. As you can see, it's all pretty patchy. I haven't used the turkey baster since last night, but they're not coming back as strong every day. Besides the dinos, everything else is looking pretty good. I did move some stuff to the 210, like this frag, I believe they're Sunny D's. I moved all my A-cans over. I don't know if this is a chemi clean treatment or the bottoming out of nitrates, but they weren't looking happy and I love my A-cans, so I moved them over. My SPS have not really changed at all. Well, in a good way they have. I just noticed how much growth I've gotten on this purple stylo since I had rearranged this tank. And same with this bubblegum digi. And you know, my green slimer up here is looking pretty good too, as well as my Garf Bonsai frag, which is starting to encrust over the base of the rock. And I'm hoping, I just can't wait for this to grow out. I think it'll look pretty nice when everything turns into big colonies. My Zoas and Pallies and my Chalice look fine, as well as my Trachea and my Duncans. So these Monopora Spongotas that I had right after the chemi clean treatment, man, I thought they were dead, and they just started coloring back up. So I'm really happy to see that they're coming back. Sorry, my glass is pretty dirty, but you know, I'm pretty happy with the way everything looks. And I'm thinking about bringing my weeping willow toadstool and putting it right there. It's actually getting pretty big in my 210, and it's growing fast. So I think I might just put it in here and just let it get massive and take up the whole corner. And maybe my clownfish will find it. What else? The Alpha Reef I've been dosing. It's been great. I've kind of dialed it in. I've been dosing 10 milliliters a day, which is, crazy. This tank has just become super simple. The Trident's right here, but I haven't had it running. I need to shut it down, and I took my Neptune dose off. So it's really just the Bubble Magus dosing Alpha Reef, and that's it. It is such a simple setup here. All I do is top off the ATO and, more hands-on with the dinos, but at this point it's kind of just, on cruise control. And one more thing, I did bring my Bristletooth Tang back in here. She was kind of a bully in the other tank. Despite her being smaller than the other fish in there, she still thought she was the boss. I did move my lyre-tail Anthias into the big tank after a few weeks of observation, and she was picking on them as well as the 6-line wrasse I got for it. And I just kind of figured I'm going to catch her and put her back in here, and whenever she does get too big for this tank, I'll be sure to rehome her to a good home. And yeah, that's about it. I have like a big acrylic fish trap that made it very easy to catch her. It's got like a trap door. It's pretty fun, actually. It's fun catching her out of there. But, that's, I guess it's about it. Got the dinos. They're slowly going away. I know it doesn't happen overnight. I think the best way to deal with them is to introduce more biodiversity and don't have any knee-jerk reactions and change things too quick in hopes that it'll get rid of the dinos. You're only going to stress your livestock out more by doing that. I think it's just best to take it nice and slow, and they'll eventually go away. And just want to highlight how happy I am with my coral growth, and I'm glad to see summer coming back. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Hope you all have a good week.